All right. Well, what is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. It is Tuesday, January 26th, here for the starting five, and it's kind of a weird one. So the Clippers news came out too early. Draftkings over adjusted. I mean, there is not a world actually, I guess the world is like 2020, 2021, right? That Reggie Jackson should be 6,800. No chance. If he drops 60, like, you can hit up my Twitter and anywhere you want, say I'm an idiot. No way I'm playing 6,800 for Reggie Jackson. We are fortunate, if you're looking on the right side in my starting five, that Marcus Morris, who, when I saw the news, was the first player I actually thought of. He's like the one that got the least amount of price increase. So go figure. Should be an interesting slate. I think a lot's going to come down to the Hawks news. Trae Young and Capella, from everything I'm seeing, it's about 3:30 right now. We're both questionable. I'm going to presume that Trae Young is playing. Hence why he's in my starting five with no Pat Beverly. I think it's a really interesting lineup. And then, the other thing that's just crazy. So we get all these price increases on the Clippers. And I'm just going to use the Reggie Jackson, egregious example, right? 6,800. But DK knows that Christian Wood is doubtful to out, yet Boogie Cousins is only at 6K. Why is he not 8,500? So go figure. I think they effed up, but let's just play what's best, and going to do our best to break it down. So just a quick reminder, I mentioned this in soccer if you watched this morning, but more than half of the views on our YouTube page, so you guys out there, are not subscribed. Please, doesn't cost you anything, doesn't hurt you. Hit that subscribe button at the bottom right. We really appreciate it. Helps us continue to grow. We are going to have a ton of Super Bowl content. I'm going to be doing some FanDuel Showdown, which we are single game, which we haven't been doing before. Chris has only been doing DraftKings. We're going to have a DraftKings Showdown. We're going to have some second half strategy. One of my best friends in the world, Knocker, is going to be jumping on with me to do a props episode. That should be fun. So we got a ton coming your way. Monkey knife fight picks, all sorts of stuff. So make sure that you subscribe. Check all of it out. All right, you're here for basketball. Let's get into the picks. So start at the top, Trae Young. So again, this pick goes completely out the window at 4:05 as this video is being processed if he's ruled out. But let's assume in this world that he's in, gets a soft matchup versus the corpse of Reggie Jackson. I think Terrence Mann would be actually really interesting if he starts, and probably would be a lock for me. I think he's a better defender and just better all-around player, but I wonder if they're just going to go Reggie. And if so, I love Trae Young. He got to a hugely fast start. We saw him, what was it? It was versus Minnesota. 14-22, 56 DK, coming off 4 straight 50s since the last time that I played. No, I didn't play him versus Utah. Where did I play him? It was versus Charlotte. That was the game that it was one of these two versus Charlotte's. I was all over him, and he just blew up. It's looking better. You got to love that the passing numbers are up, giving him a really good floor. The rebounding, too, is just very, very interesting with Trae Young. So to me, at 9,100, he's a really, really good play, and somebody I'm playing this start around. I can see the argument for Russ Westbrook. Look, if I'm going to be playing Brad Beal, who's my next pick, I probably want to diversify with some Trae Young. All right, Brad Beal. Look, my initial reaction was, I'm not going to play Brad Beal with Russ Westbrook healthy. I think that's kind of a limiting thought process, and one that, I need to continue to work on, in my own game. Playing for 5 years, you'd think you'd have it snapped out, but Brad Beal's shots are just outrageous. So even with Russ Westbrook back, in a tougher matchup versus San Antonio, I think Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray, at least can bug some people. Vassell, Brad Beal still took 29 shots, 7 boards, 4 assists, 31 points. 45 with that type of stat line, that's literally like a floor. So I think that, you're closer to probably putting him close to a 50 DK floor, and Houston just doesn't want to play any defense. This game could absolutely shoot out. It's why I really don't mind if you want to, instead of Trae Young, you want to roll Russ Westbrook. You're going to be playing Cousins, maybe run it back with Victor Oladipo, who you can get the small forward spot with some other values, and you're off and running. But Brad Beal, love the matchup. I think he's probably the premier spend up here, in my opinion, on the slate. him and Trae Young. And then if Capella's in, that'll be, another player that we want to look at. But yeah, so Brad Beal, prelim starting five for me. I would say of everybody here, if everybody plays that we expect to, so if Capella is in and Young is in, Beal would probably be the guy that I think I might let go. We'll see. All right, Jerome Robinson, the next play. Saw a ton of people on him last slate. I missed that completely. I saw him starting, just didn't expect the minutes to be there. And all of a sudden, 35 minutes, 15 shots. Always been a good player. I think it was Virginia Tech. Used to be a really nice player for them. Went a little bit higher in the draft than people expected, but still decent player. 4,000 in a potential shootout. If he's gonna play 35 minutes in this game, I'm just gonna lock him in. So Jerome Robinson, my third guy. Marcus Morris, already alluded to it. I think he's, of all the Clips guys, he's by far the most mispriced. Marcus Morris back to, God, he's played with so many teams. Not even Boston. What am I thinking? Like Phoenix, I think he played with. No, Detroit. That's who I'm thinking. In his Detroit days, when he get the opportunity, Marcus Morris had no problem trying to hoist shots and take over. He doesn't really fit that type of profile, but especially if he's knocking down his threes, he could put up a big game. 4,700. I think he weirdly might be like one of the focal points of the Clippers attacks. If we can project him for 30 plus minutes, getting some of those Kawhi and Paul George shots that now need to be filled in, I think at 4,700 he's just too cheap, and a guy that's a really, really good chance at 30 and has upwards of 40 to 50 DK potential here. So 4,700, I'm gonna lock him in. Finally, I think even though Marcus Morris, 4,700 is a really good play, DeMarcus Cousins is by far, yet again, the third straight slate, he is the most egregious mispriced on DraftKings. 4,400 2 games ago, which they didn't have the Wood news, so that's fine. They knew that Wood would be out. 5,100 versus Dallas. Now we've only been up to 6,000. His efficient price here should be like 8 to 9K. So just lock and load. 100% exposure. No Thomas Bryant. God, the Wizards bigs that are going to throw at him are going to be a joke. So DeMarcus Cousins, 100% exposure. Do not even think about fading him unless you just want to just complete YOLO dart it that you think there's going to be an injury to him. He's going to be 85% owned, and you want to leverage it. Like, I get it, but if he plays, doesn't get in foul trouble, doesn't get teed up, doesn't get thrown out, just don't see a way that Boogie Cousins doesn't, hit 40 plus here. So that is the starting five, and that will do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like and comment button if you did. Once again, Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. See you.